Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, so I record this on Friday, 7 o'clock or so in the evening, Pacific time on June 6th. Happy D-Day, everybody. This is the day after the big spat between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Trump was uncharacteristically quiet on his social media page. Normally that's unusual. Normally he dwells on things. I fully expected to see some rage posts around 1, 2 in the morning, and that didn't happen. Musk was also quiet. It's like they shot their shots. But in the aftermath, the two cults. What's going to happen with the two cults? You've got Trump and his cult, the MAGA cult that suffers from Trump derangement syndrome. That syndrome where they worship Trump as a deity. They feel he does no wrong, and they'll make all the excuses in the world for a 79-year-old man. Never hold him accountable for anything. Anything that goes wrong is somebody else's fault. Anything that goes right is Trump's doing, regardless if he had a hand in it or not. And then you've got the Elon Musk fanboys. The ones that, Elon's the greatest. He's the greatest, smartest, best innovator in the world. Most cleverest guy ever. And for a while, those groups merged. And now that Elon and Donald are on the outs, those groups have to separate. But if there's one thing that Elon and his folks do is troll people on the internet. Not that the MAGAs don't, because they do too. But it's like Elon's supporters are good at trolling, and Trump's supporters are good at being victims. And Elon's supporters are the ones that would like to troll a victim, and then since they have no empathy, they keep trolling on him. So you can imagine the online bloodbath that will come from Elon's followers going after Trumpers, going after MAGA. Now, for somebody who's a huge Elon Musk fan and a MAGA person, now they got to choose, because these MAGA makes Trump their whole personality, their whole livelihood. That's not the case with Musk supporters, necessarily. Musk fanboys. Not to the same degree. So it's a cult, but not like MAGA's cult. So I'm kind of curious, if you're a MAGA and a Elon supporter, do you go with the MAGA cult, or do you go with Elon? If there's a conundrum there, a quandary. Or do you just go, oh, it's all so confusing. I like them both. It's too bad they had a spat. And you don't actually listen to the words that they're saying. When Elon's saying Trump's in the Epstein files and you've been denying it forever and a day, do you now believe? I imagine what they do is they say, well, Elon believes it, and that's okay for him to believe it. But Trump says he's not, and I'll believe Trump. Because Elon didn't show proof, and they wouldn't believe the proof anyways. How are the cults going to handle this? Let's look at the cults. Entertainment purposes only. Welcome to the dark side of the internet. We have group work, things going dark here. And then the 6 of coins. Okay. Yeah, and there's the broadcasting. What I think is going to happen here is that more Elon than Trump. Elon's going to go quiet, but he's going to encourage his followers to go after Trump and MAGA. If you sign a petition, you'll qualify for $1 million, that sort of thing. It's going to be that. They're going to go after each other over the broadcasts. But it's going to be behind the scenes. So it won't be Musk doing it. it'll be proxy. It'll be a proxy fight. In the past, you got the Six of Swords. That's the separation between the cults. They've gone their separate ways. Ooh. Current situation is the Hanged Man. They will now no longer like the other person. Hatred is forever, I guess, with these folks. So, Elon's fanboys are going to think MAGA are a bunch of idiots, and MAGA are going to hate Elon's fanboys. And they will go out of their way on the internet to trash each other. Because they've got to be the daddy. Who's your daddy type of energy here. It's going to be ongoing. This is just going to become the way it is with it. It's lesson to be learned is the Page of Wands. Overarching energy with Chariot. Lesson to be learned is the Page of Wands. Yeah, it's just going to be constant trolling. No matter where you go, you're going to get trolled. Outcome is the Lover's card. It's the breakup. It's the divine breakup between these two groups. Now, one of the things that's interesting about this is that Elon bringing up his fanboys and merging with the MAGA cult, that's going to combine to help Trump get extra votes in that previous election that we had. If there's going to be revelations of interference in the election, you need to have people believing it. And you need to have the majority of people believing it. With Elon's very, very public squabble breakup with Trump, Elon's fanboys will be more willing to believe corruption in the election if evidence is presented. See what I'm saying? And especially if Elon has done something where he's scrubbed his fingerprints off of things as much as possible and then acts as a whistleblower, presents the information to the government, says, hey, I found this. I had no idea how it got here. You should probably take a look at it, but let me explain what this does. And wow, this could have really impacted the election. Who knew? Little immunity for me would go a long way, and I'll explain to you everything that's going on here. I think the government would take that deal. Give Elon immunity. You explain how the cheating happened and how you had very little to do with it, but you played a small teensy-weensy role in it. And if we give you immunity, you'll give us all the other big fish and the method with which the election got manipulated. If I were the government, I'd take that deal in a second. I'd offer that deal in a second for the return. So, imagine the fanboys from Elon. If Elon's saying, yeah, the election was rigged and here's how they did it. Not only are all the Democrats going to believe that, but then so are Elon's fanboys. And, you're getting well above 50% of the population or right around there. And that's what you need. You need that tipping point. You need more than 50. It's probably about 60 to 65% you need to believe it. So things seem to be lining up with that. How will Trump cult members react when Elon fanboys attack them online? Because they are forever the victim. How will they react when it happens? 8 of Coins. They're going to go on about Elon and money. And how great Donald Trump was on The Apprentice and he was so smart. You just wait. Yeah, I was about to say, they're going to say, just wait. Yeah, they're going to tell Elon's fanboy you have to wait because they have to wait for Donald to tell them what to say. What do we tell these guys again? The foundation of the reading is the 8 of Coins, the Apprentice card. the working on it. The Queen of Cups is keeping your emotions in check. Knight of Wands, Pentultimate Battle, the card of weariness. Knight of Pentacles, a mercenary, and Two of Wands, looking forward to next steps. I think how will the MAGA react to the Tesla fanboy attacks? They're going to say that Elon's not really that wealthy. He's, the government gave him all his money. I do think, though, that they're just going to lose their emotions. I don't think the Queen of Cups is MAGA controlling their emotions. That is not what they do. But they have to wait for Trump to tell them what to do. They'll basically say Elon was a mercenary. Without his money, Elon's a nobody. And just you wait. Trump, it's going to be kind of like the you wait, Trump's going to get you type thing. So I don't think they're going to have anything on the short term for Elon when the flame wars start between the supporters on there. They just don't have anything, Because Elon's everything Donald Trump wishes Donald Trump would be. Elon is Donald Trump 2.0. More money, more babies, more ex-wives, more companies. But Elon's companies make money where Donald's companies bankrupt. It's just now Donald's got more felonies. Let's give him his dues. Then there's the Spawn. Tesla fanboys. How are they going to handle any retaliations by MAGA in the online forums and such? I always have them reversed. They're going to call them a bunch of victims. Victimization. Page of Swords. Boy, you people are stupid. You're victims. You're stupid. Trump's a loser. Oh, these swords cards. There's so... Ten of Swords, and then the Lover's card, and the Knight of Cups. Swords cards are about intelligence and lacking emotions. So basically, Tesla fanboys are going to be ruthless on MAGA. Because MAGA is all about cups. They're all you're all up in your feels. And Tesla fanboys, not so much. They're a much harsher group. They're going to call them a bunch of victims. Everything Trump touches dies. He's a loser. He's going away. The guy's practically dead. What the hell's wrong with you? You guys are dumb as a box of rocks. And if you think we don't look at Elon like he's a deity. You guys worship Trump like he's a deity. So they're going to actually make fun of the cultiness of it, and they're going to point out that they're going to echo Elon's point that Trump wouldn't have won the election without Elon. It's all Elon's help that got Trump where he was this second time around, and they're not going to let MAGA know that. MAGA's they're weird. They're not very bright. They don't have good critical thinking skills. I'm not saying Tesla fanboys do, but I bet you they have more if you were to sample that population. Okay, Spirit. Give me a high-level, 30,000-foot view of the breakup between these two cult leaders and how it impacts the energy of the United States. For near-term, assuming there's election interference, does this play into that? It may not, but what's kind of the high-level spiritual message for the United States with this very, very public breakup and the result on the followers? Four of Coins. Restriction, retraction, sort of holding back, protecting yourselves. We have the Empress, Ace of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and the Tower. Ooh. I think times are about to get tough economically speaking. Money and values. There's a crash that's coming. You have to protect yourself. This crash, though, is what reveals the truth in this country. That we do prefer, believe it or not, when our government's there to serve us and not us serve the government. And it's for a transition here. So this fight is going to get people ready, believe it or not, or this country ready for an economic downturn and a crash. And we know who to hold to account for it. And it's going to bring a new way of thinking. So it's like, again, by dividing those two cults, if Trump causes the crash, and he will, MAGA is going to go on the Trump side and say the crash isn't that bad. Well, the Tesla fanboys, they're going to want to be contrarian to that, so they're going to blame Trump for everything. And that's going to fall on the side of the anti-Trumpers and Democrats and such, who will try and hold Trump accountable. So you're going to have a very large part of the population agreeing on that. Now, from the fanboys' point of view, that's probably a fairly conditional support, but you never know. You know, their eyes might be wide open with Trump, and if Elon's telling them Trump's an idiot, and then they watched, Trump's going to crash the economy, Elon's predicting that, and he's going to cause a recession, and then he's going to get named in the Epstein files, and if all these things come to pass, there's going to be a wholesale rejection by a very large swath of the population that hadn't already rejected Trump. And by rejecting Trumpism, you're rejecting MAGA, and you're getting people back onto Earth One with the rest of us. It's just not going to happen probably as quickly as we would like. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen, but I assure you it will not be as quickly as we like. I'd like to be wrong on that, but I'd like to have been done yesterday, so I don't think I'm wrong. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purpose only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.